Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. Hope you're all having an amazing day. We're starting off with the white pieces against an 1860 from Indonesia. We're 3 games behind now. We are 3 games behind, so we've got to work for it a bit more. 3 games in a row. It's a big ask, to be honest. Luckily here we have the Filidor, which we know and I wouldn't say love, but we know. But yeah, I'm good. I'm feeling good. Warmed up a bit. Yeah, went for a run earlier, which was good. Get the blood circulating and the brain working and all that. Hopefully, not that my brain ever really works, but we will do what we usually do and hope for the best. Hope for the best. So we have our usual sort of Filidor setup here. What we want to do with that, I don't know. I think probably a H3 works here. I'm not sure whether to long castle or not. It depends what they do with these pawns. Yeah, whether they want to push these pawns or not. So we'll play a H3 for now. I think that's a flexible move. It's stopping any activity from them, really, and it still allows us to castle if we need to. They've played A6. A4 is a response to A6, but with H4, I'm not going to be queenside castling. We play kingside, and they're just looking for this B4 idea to free up their bishop on this light diagonal. So I think A4 is reasonable. I don't think after that they're going anywhere. They would have to play a C6 as well. But once they play a C6, this bishop's still got nowhere to go. So I think I'm happy playing A4 here. With lots of cover. And then the bishop could potentially retreat as well after that. So I think it's quite nice. It's something I play in the Two Knights Caro. If you've been around the channel, you probably know that one. It's probably my favourite opening, I'd say. I know that's a bold statement, but it's probably my favourite opening. Knight d7, I'm looking at a knight f5 because they've blocked off their light squared bishop. It's freeing up my dark squared bishop to potentially take this knight if it goes anywhere. Not that I would really want to, I don't think. And it's potentially lining up some tricky sacrifices over here. Not that any of them are particularly good either. But yeah. So knight f5, I'm guessing knight e5 is their idea. At which point I probably just drop my bishop back to e2. Takes. Probably not ideal. We could also take their dark squared bishop. Although I think that's probably their problem piece. So I'm not sure about that one. Knight d5. Gives up that pawn, which we saw in the last time we played the Filidor. We gave up that pawn, and I don't think I particularly like that. So let's not. Yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing is the question. Castles and then just play safe. Probably the way to go, to be honest. Probably the way to go. We have to watch out for some sacrifices because there are some hooks over there with this H2 pawn, and I'm happy. Bishop e2 is not as bad a move as you think. You are slightly retreating, but realistically, I think this knight's more of a weakness for them than anything, which we can see immediately with like a knight c6 here. If we risk playing like an f4, the knight can hop into c6, queen goes up, or to the side, I guess it could. And we're hitting this like dark squared bishop, which is, again, I don't know how I feel about that. In fact, where's this knight going afterwards? Back to g6 is probably its best move, rather than blocking in the queen some more here. So f4 back to g6. Knight there. And then what? Then what is the question? Like, your knight's on a nice square. Is it really doing much? Maybe even like a knight d5 could work. Maybe even like a knight d5. So sort of forcing them to trade. But then you've got a bit of an outpost here, which is quite nice. Because if you're not, then this is all coming with tempos on this bishop. Although knight g6 does cover the bishop a second time. So, maybe that doesn't work. Maybe that doesn't work. We've got to make a move, though. We do have to make a move. Knight f5. F4. Knight c6 eventually. F4 is probably something more similar to what I know and play. Although knight g6 looks like a very solid defensive move. I don't want to be pushing like an f5 afterwards. So f4, knight back break, takes. Knight takes. It doesn't really get us anywhere. So, yeah, basically, yeah. What do we do? Queen d2, look for the sack. Not that there's really anything there. Knight f3 is an idea. But then that's like another sort of backwards move, and chaining two backwards moves probably isn't right. Knight d5 allows some f4 ideas after knight takes as well, which I'm not too keen on. Yeah, we need to speed up as well because we're really running low on time. Gosh, come on, Summer, please come to me. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go f4. Why not? Let's risk it for a biscuit. Go on the offensive. If we go knight back, I'm really happy. Knight g6 is the move though. Definitely. And I'm in this position again where I've spent a lot of time on not an amazing position, you know? And I'm not particularly happy about that, to be honest. Actually, a knight f5 here could be nice. After takes. Where's this knight going? It's got to go back. But then, like, all your pieces are still sort of dead. And it's not amazing. Okay, how can we support this push the best? I don't even know. Well, we could do that anyway, I guess. Take off the dark square bishop. I'm not a huge fan. Maybe a bishop d3 could work. Bishop d3, adding another defender onto the e4 square. Adding that. I'm looking. I don't know about breaks on either f5 or e5. I think these are more controlling pawns rather than like attacking pawns. That seems not particularly wise. I think you need the control of this diagonal. So I think f5 here could be nice. Or a knight f5 even. We'll go knight f5. I think that asks a lot of questions. Are you happy to trade off the bishop pair? Are there any sacrifices here? I'm getting my dark squared bishop out, looking to potentially trade off this knight. And then go after this sort of thing, which might get my queen in the game a bit. H4, H5 now actually comes to mind as well. Looks very interesting. They go back. What? They go back. Can't be right. Can't be right. Okay, well, bishop d4 looks nice. Bishop d4 looks nice. That's an idea. At which point maybe e5. Oh, this knight is still here. e5, pawn takes, pawn takes. No, e5, pawn takes, bishop takes, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. Yeah. Nah. They move the knight back though. So now maybe takes, queen takes, e5, pawn, knight takes there. We've got ideas. That could work. Alternatively, we could just do that straight away. That was a misclick, to be honest. I didn't mean to do that. I think it's fine. Is it fine? Is it fine? The knight's covering this bishop. Where's this knight go? Where's this knight actually go? And I still have knight takes, and I still have these ideas. The knight goes there. Knight takes, pawn takes, queen h4. No, I'm gonna not do that, I think. Gonna not do that. Am I gonna do that? I don't know. We're running low on time. Let's do it. It's not a good move, but queen, knight takes, knight takes. No, that loses. So we got to drop the bishop. Oh. Okay, let's do queen there then. Let's do queen there then. Do pawn. Pawn takes. This is not good. We're very low on time. We still have threats of knight takes is an idea. The queen's pinned to the thing, so they have to take here, realistically. And we've got to be very, very fast. We've got to be extremely fast because this game is far from over. Far from over. Yeah. How can I annoy this knight? h4, h5. They go there. Well, I'll just push the pawn. I'll try get the bishop pair, I guess. That's our play. That's our play. Our one play is the bishop pair. Brilliant. They go there. We'll just drop back. Trying to avoid any tactics at all. Bishop can come back there. That's a pin, but they double their pawns. We'll get the open file. We will try to keep the open file. If they push, we'll go up to d4 maybe. They go back. King keeps moving up. King keeps moving up. Got to pre-move stuff now. This is getting ridiculous. Let's do that. What have I done? I'm not sure. This is dodgy. There. You take. Yeah, it's fine. We're still fine. Go there. That's actually a big question for them. Go there. There. Trade off the rooks, I guess. Go lose the pawn. We're playing for a draw here with very little time. They don't want it. Questions. What do you do about this? We're up the rook. Sorry if I'm dead quiet here. This is good. This is good. Come on. Yes! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I need to stop getting into time trouble. I really, really need to stop getting into time trouble. Oh. They just blundered, to be honest. They just blundered. And I'll show you where they blundered because I was not speaking there. Oh my gosh. One sec, folks. It's so stressful. Why do I play this game? It's actually so bad. Oh man. Oh man. We're 85. So how far are we? 15 away. So we like 2 games away. 2 games away. Wow. Yeah. Wow. I mean, no else to say there. Yeah. No. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. So Filidor. I am not a fan of the Filidor at all. I think it's boring. I mean, it's super solid. Don't get me wrong. Super, super solid. That's why I find it boring, because it's all on white. It's all on white to actually prove anything. Like, prove an advantage. If not, black's going to get the setup they want. And they're both going to sort of be defending, and it is very, very awkward. So apparently F4 was the best move here. Yeah, and you actually do go knight c6, which is wild, and just get the bishop pair, maybe? Yeah, you just take it. Trade off even more. Fair enough, I guess. Fair enough. Yeah, interesting. We go for knight f5, which is the best move as well. We don't follow up in the right way. By the way, this is good for us. Like, we never didn't have an advantage. And then we got the 1.1 with this b6 move, which looked like it was taking a bit of the pressure off. Although you are potentially freeing up your bishop needs to be guarding these squares over here, which I think is more important. So we sort of capitalize that. Still wants us to do that, yeah. And then knight f5 is apparently it's 0.9 advantage. With the idea of queen h5, I'm not sure what queen h5 is doing. To be honest, it looks like a non-threat. Especially you can just go back to f6. Like, I don't get why. I don't get why at all. Not even a knight f6. Knight f6. Then what? Queen e2. Oh, so you just go back. So your rooks are connected, I guess. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's almost like you've got a move there if they go back to f6. It's like you've got a free move, which makes sense. They go back. We push the pawn, which was a bit of a mouse slip, but apparently the best move, so I'll take it. And we didn't play it right. Again, it wants this like queen move, which is queen g4 this time. Rather than takes. Queen g4. What's that doing? See, I didn't think that was really a threat. Like, I guess maybe I need to stop thinking in terms of threats. That seems to be doing me, because I'm always looking for threats. Maybe the threat is takes, but again, there's nothing because knight takes. If queen takes, then yes, you've got some bishop takes ideas. But that's about it, really. So maybe I need to stop thinking in terms of threats. Queen takes. We went queen f3, which was my first time I gave them an advantage. It's a very slight advantage. It's 0.1. But I thought it was playable. You've got to do pawn takes, because if rook takes here, you go down the exchange. As simple as. Yeah, not good. They move the bishop back to this diagonal, which it seems weird. Like, you've spent all this time playing like b6 and moving the bishop over here. And I have weak pawns, and this is a very strong diagonal for you. And then just to move it back to c8 and trade it off for my knight is just wild. And here it's actually saying I have an advantage. We're very low on time here. They trade off. I'm happy with the trade off. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. But I've got double pawns. I can contest the open file. This knight's at the edge of the board. It's very well controlled as well. Like, even if it moves back, it's very well controlled. So I'm pretty happy here. We shuffle about a bit. Trade off the rooks. And then this was a mistake here. I can actually go to d1 because the bishop covers. That's what I forgot. Yeah. We messed around here. Gave up a pawn. So this is minus 0.9. It goes down to minus 0.8. So we're down a pawn. We're down a pawn. That's it. Gave him more checks. Yeah, they need to target this pawn. We get the rook in, target some weaknesses of theirs, cover ours. This is a nice idea, e6, with the idea of the fork if they take, which we saw. Luckily, they misplayed it. They should have just traded off, took the second pawn, and win. Third pawn even, I think, and just win pretty comfortably. They didn't. They messed about. I got my king up, and then they went here, which is a pretty big mistake, especially now. So if you went here, that would have been fine. King e7 loses. So the idea behind king f6 is that if bishop takes, knight takes, king over, and you get the exchange right back. And it's still potentially drawn. Like, these double pawns sort of cancel out. Especially, like, it's pretty solid. And then you're left with these, and these are probably going to trade off to one pawn. So it would take... actually, the computer's... what, the computer... Why is that? The computer's changed its mind. Changed its mind. This is apparently winning, but this is... Oh, so you go back to d3. I wonder what the difference is. No, the computer keeps changing its mind. Okay, no, this is completely winning for black, yeah. Oh, so you don't even take the rook. You go back to g8. Just to save the bishop, I guess. Avoid trading things off. Anyway, that's not what they did. Blah, 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 blah. They went to king e7, which is the worst move you could have made. Like, the worst move you could make. Because I get the discovered, so they don't actually have time to go in for the fork here. I can pretty comfortably sit back. And then they made even more mistakes. I had this rook e6, which is really nice. A lot simpler. Low on time. I just tried to simplify as much as I possibly can. They make the mistake of going to the back rank. Now, this is super, super easy for me. Especially when they trade off the bishop. Then knight was the only thing that would have made things a lot harder, especially with 10 seconds. You've got to be careful not to pre-move this. Because if you pre-move too much, they come over and take the rook. And this is still winning. But 6.8 seconds, even if you pre-move everything, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. But yeah, this is just mating. Like, they get close, I move the rook away, get the king over. They come here, they have to move away, at which point you get the tempo. This is pretty standard king and rook checkmate. They could have moved this pawn, by the way, to get them an extra tempo, at which point I don't even have to take it, I just move the rook. Same thing. And we get a checkmate. So, that came out of nowhere, to be honest. That really came out of nowhere. We were down. We were good out the opening, but it's a tough opening to play as a Filidor. Very, very tough. You've got to understand like the deeper ideas, which I'm still struggling, because I don't think I've ever properly actually studied the Filidor, to be honest. I just sort of play it on instinct and know some okay moves, and that's about it. But yeah, two wins away from 1900, as we were several times, I guess. But yeah, Puzzle Rush Sunday tomorrow. Also Easter tomorrow. So have a good Easter, everyone. And yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. That's my outro. Yeah. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.